The 12th BRICS summit is underway. The meeting, hosted by Russia, includes the leaders of Brazil, India, China and South Africa. The bloc's focus is on key areas of stability, security and innovation. This year's summit comes in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. And we're going to dive a little deeper into this story with Stuart Smith. He joins us now from Moscow. Stuart, what's topping the agenda at the summit this year?
Well, as you might expect, it's COVID-19, and there are some particular things that the BRICS countries can help a lot with here in terms of collaboration. Both Russia, China and India, they all have vaccines in development, and Brazil and South Africa are involved with testing these vaccines. So a great way that they can help each other out. And that's been a big part of the summit, with most of the leaders here today saying that multilateralism specifically is something they would like to encourage amongst BRICS countries and encourage in the world. And particularly Prime Minister Modi, who spoke as well, saying that the traditional interglobal institutions like the United Nations have failed to keep up. He mentioned they were founded 75 years ago this year, but haven't really evolved with the times, and potentially the BRICS countries offer something a little different than the established institutions, which could go some way to try and rekindle this idea of multilateralism and global governance. Xi Jinping, the president of China, also agreeing with him and saying organizations like the World Health Organization are particularly useful for things like that. And this general sense that it's not just the COVID-19 pandemic that they could be focusing on. There are many global issues, and all of them something that BRICS can do and BRICS can help with, such as climate change, with anti-terror legislation which is being signed today. Many other things aside from the COVID-19 pandemic which are on the agenda, and they can do things to help.
So, Stuart, I assume the bloc is also expected to address regional conflict. And does that include the border disputes between China and India?
So interestingly, it does not, and that's quite deliberate. President Vladimir Putin is reported to have said that's completely off the agenda. What they don't want to do in the BRICS, I was going to say the BRICS organization. It's not an official organization, but amongst the BRICS countries, they're looking to only look at issues which they can mutually agree on. And some countries have red lines, and one of those red lines is the conflict between India and China. It's meant to be an establishment of countries which look together at what they can all agree on and all do together. It's not a forum for dialogue or a forum for resolving bilateral disputes. It's all about, in effect, joining up nearly 50% of the world's population, of the world's countries, and then joining together to work on global issues such as the pandemic, such as climate change, terrorism, and even things as niche as remote sensing satellites, which is also on the agenda today.
All right, many thanks for getting us up to speed. Stuart Smith speaking to us from Moscow.